Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a quick comic haul. I've got 5 books for you today from MyComicShop.com. Got a new book from this past week, and a Golden Age book, and a couple of randoms peppered in between. I love shopping there. If you've never shopped there, click the link below, check it out, sign up, do the whole routine. You're gonna love it. There's always something good there to get, so highly recommend it. It's my favorite thing. So here we go. First off, we'll start off with a Marvel book. Let's make me small and get to the haul. Yo! Alright, first off we have Fear Itself. Look at that. Now I always thought this was an Alex Ross cover, because boy does it look like one, but it's not. It is Paulo Rivera. But I've always thought this was a Ross cover. So when I've searched for it on eBay, I've often searched for Fear Itself, Alex Ross, and I hadn't been able to find it. So, but recently I saw someone else show it, and I was like, oh, I need to try and find that book again. So I hunted it down, got it, and here it is. So Fear Itself, the variant, the Paulo Rivera variant. This is my favorite team up of the Fantastic Four, other than the original, of course. But look at that. Isn't that great? That's fantastic. I love that grouping of the Fantastic Four. Just a terrible idea to put these 4 people together as heroes. So I mean, Spidey's really got his hands full with that bunch. All right, next. Man, I can't get enough of this artist. We got Lupuccino. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. So this is Supergirl number 27. Oh yeah, that's so good. The lines on it, I like the proportions, the thickness. That's perfect. And one of the things that I collect a lot of good girl art, and one of the things that a lot of artists fall prey to is the impossible waist. So and I know that when you do that, it makes everything else look bigger. So it automatically gives them a bigger bottom. Definitely gives them a bigger top when you do all that. But look at the proportions of this, where even down at the calf area, it's normal. It's not super elongated legs like, J. Scott Campbell-esque, which I like, but it's definitely an artistic style as opposed to this, which is much more proper. And then look at the waist there. A normal size waist. She has hips. You see her hands on her hips, so that works out good. I love that they painted her nails. She has a muscular, athletic physique. She has a big top, but it's proportionate. And the hair looks good, and the face, and the eyes, just everything about it. The impossible cape, kind of like Todd McFarlane type cape. Just everything about the style. Now, this is the same artist that does the Bombshell variants for DC. So if you like this, you'll like that. This is not a Bombshell variant, but it's also a DC book. I just think it's fantastic. The Lupuccino cover of Supergirl 27. Check the proportions out on that. This is really the best of all worlds to me, when you can get something that comes out looking like that. Way to go. Next up, speaking of proportions, we've got Frank Cho's Outrage variant for Red Sonja. Now, the Invincible Red Sonja. I actually read this book. It's pretty good. So I may pick up the rest of these. I was impressed. The interior art is very good. Very good. And the writing wasn't bad. So I'm going to check this series out. Maybe I might read the rest digitally if the rest of the covers don't come out looking this good. But we'll check it out. And what I'm confused about is this 3 out of 10 Dynamite. And if you follow Frank Cho on social media, he mentioned that he's going to be doing a series of these Outrage covers. And of course, he recommends everyone run out and pick them up. So I'll be doing that anyway. But the reason why they're called Outrage covers is because they're usually fourth wall breaking, main character sketch, looking back, breaking the fourth wall. And that's kind of what's going on here. And then they're also just cheesecake covers. So we'll see how many of these he gets through and how daring he gets with them. But great stuff. The Invincible Red Sonja. Stop staring at my ass, peasant. Isn't that great? And I love that they went with the sketch on it. So good. Good stuff. All right, next, this is turning into being quite a haul for a little good girl art. So here's Chassis #1 from Adam Hughes. Look at that. Isn't that cool? This is Millennium Comics. This is a little bit older, but very cool. Kind of a space age mechanic kind of story, like race cars. It's kind of weird, but it's not bad at all. The interior art's pretty decent too. So not done by Hughes. Look at that. And she is sporting, you see those cars there, each have an enlarged rounded chassis. See that there? So hence the name of the comic, Chassis, right there, showing off those cars. Look at that. Fantastic. I love this kind of stuff. And the earlier Hughes stuff, it is hit and miss, some of it, but the independent stuff, some of it's really good. I like this. I like the Maze Agency stuff is fantastic. So, you know, until he fell completely into 100% Cheesecake, there's a lot of good art coming out of there too. And here, finally, the Golden Age book of the haul. Hope you all like it as much as I do. I've been after this book for a while. Jet #3. So Jet Powers, actually. #3, The Devil Machine. Look at that. I love that. A little bit of staining here and up here. The spine is almost split. It's hanging on by a thread. It'll get some reinforcement before I do anything else with it. A little bit of acid here. I believe it was missed. So this was an auction win on MyComicShop.com. They have auctions every Monday night, and this was a prime auction win, so it went a little further than that. It's like a whole week-long auction. Very good. So cool stuff. Look at all those little guys falling out of what I can only assume to be the death machine. And they're all falling down and attacking, jumping on this poor lady's dress. Look at that. Gotta notice the shoes. We love the shoes. Look at that green dress. Isn't that great? What great colors on this. Looks like a Crayola box. Just had a great time. And there's Jet Powers. And there's a lady getting carried off. It's great. It's just so good. Look, there's a little dude that she's got on her head. You see him there? She's trying to get him off. That's great. So good. I just love this cover. I always have, and it just always sells for more than I wanted to spend for it, you know. And a lot of times you get these buy it nows and these Golden Age books, and people are just, man, they want what they're asking for. And you can't hardly blame them, because they don't come up that often, and when they do, you really just don't want to let them go. You know, I think a lot of Golden Age collectors, they put prices on things where they just basically saying, look, I don't want to sell this. I'm more than happy to have this book in my collection for a long time. And if you're going to buy it, you're going to have to pay me more than it's worth to get it out of my hands. And I think a lot, I don't blame them, because I feel that way about a lot of my stuff too. If I was going to sell this book, I'd sell it for twice what I paid for, you know, before I would sell it. That'd be my listing price. And it can sit on eBay and it can frickin' rot, because every day it sits on there unsold is another day in my collection. It gets to grace my collection with its presence. So that's kind of how I feel about it. So I can understand why a lot of these Golden Age books, they just go for I would say ridiculous money, but more than you would think a book like this would go for. You know, but it's good girl art. It's action packed. It's got a killer trade dress. I mean, the whole thing about it, it just pops. It just jumps out at you. It's been a book I've been after for a long time, but I kept holding off, because every now and then you come across a book that you're like, you know what? I want that in fairly good condition. And even as a low grade collector, I'm willing to put up with a little bit of staining, a little bit of chipping in, you know, corners, and even a split spine and all that kind of stuff. But with all this black in this book and all the color and detail, could you imagine if a big rip was out there, or if part of the logo was missing, or anything like that? It just wouldn't have the same effect. So every now and then when I come across a book I really want, I hold out for a good copy, and I finally got one. So that's my haul. I hope y'all appreciated that, and we will catch you next time on BUB'S Comics. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize. Oh, one more thing before I forget. Allow my sexy fingers to interrupt this video. I want to give a quick shout out to my man Fred Hall. Our channel's name is Fred Hall Direct Edition. I almost forgot. I gotta shout that man out. He's been a longtime supporter of my channel, and I of his as well. He has fantastic hauls. He does movies. He does figures. He does comics, of course, and he also shows you the fantastic food that he's about to get into, and it is so good. And I love how he introduces himself in between. Just the whole style of it, the whole vibe, I'm digging. So I'm gonna tell you to read a comic. Oh, and he's got a contest going on. All you gotta do is shout him out or whatever, but I don't even know what the prizes are. I don't care. If he's asking for a shout out, he's getting one, because that man deserves it. He's a fantastic member of the community and just an all around cool cat. And so I'm not only gonna tell you to read a comic and of course don't apologize for the glare, but I'm also gonna tell you to what does he say? He says show love, or hang around or something with the people that show you love, and the ones that don't, hey, we're just gonna roll on without them. So remember that, guys and gals. All right, we'll catch you next time on BUB'S Comics. Bye bye.